it's Larry22, and today we are actually doing, by the title, this is 2018 year in review, and I didn't do this last year, but I've done it previous years. I go over pretty much the brews that I did the whole year long. So I know I wasn't posting a lot of videos this year. I've been really busy, just like when I did the Supercharger night. I had people come over, so it kind of gets crazy and everything like that. So let's go ahead and go over the brews that I did over the year. Oh, let me introduce you to my beer first. So this is my Vienna Lager. I actually use I use crystal in it, and for Vienna Lagers you're not really supposed to use crystal, but it tastes good. And I actually got graded really well with it. I think I scored a 37 on it, and I think it was a NHC or the Dominion Cup last year. So with this recipe, so it probably would have did better if I would tweak back the crystal and everything like that. So it's a little aged. It's about 6 months old. It's nice and clear. I didn't put any clarity in it, except for the workflow I got when I actually did the brew. So let me get a taste on it. Cheers. Clean tasting, nothing off on it. It's actually now that I've been making these lagers, I actually made 3 lagers this year. I made a Hell's, which I scored a first in a local beer competition. I made a Vienna Lager, and then I also just made another lager that I'm just an American lager, kind of easy drinker for when people come on over. So let's go ahead. Man, I'm getting my tongues tied. So let's go ahead and get how many brews did I do? Let's guess. So was it 10, 20, or 30? 30. If you guessed 30, that's how many I did. I think this was the first year I actually hit the 30 mark. I was brewing like crazy, and I was going crazy with the IPAs. IPAs and pale ales. Actually, I did, I believe, 15, 17, 18. That's 18. So the double IPAs, I did 6 of them. Regular IPA, which I did the Superchargers kind of offshoot, I did 9, including 1 Supercharger. I think I did 2 Challenger, and the rest were Roadrunners. Roadrunner is the one that actually scored second in another competition, and that one is my go-to beer. Challenger came out really well too. So anything with that hop sched, and I think I posted that in the last video when I did the Supercharger. So so IPAs, pale ales, they were the big ones that I did this year. I did one Belgian, 2 stouts. 2 stouts I did. I think I still have some of my Imperial Stout that's in here. The other stout I think I kicked, or I think it was over. Oh, I did it for St. Patty's Day, so that one kicked. I did 1 malt beverage, which is the limeade, cherry limeade, and I did 1 Larrigant, which is the strong ale. So it was a pretty good. I did a couple reds too. So it was a pretty good. Very busy doing making my beers, drinking my beers. It's pretty much what we do around here. I lost my brew tubing partner, Dan, which is Barrage Brewer. He moved out to San Diego, so he's actually looking at getting back into the business of brewing. He is, I think he's in school, but so he's not officially there yet, but he's there. So I think he's going to hook up with Man Bear Pig, Josh and Michelle out there. So good luck with their brewing. They should have a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and go over what I actually did this year. So this was the first year I was actually the president of my homebrew club. I had, like I said before, I had this guy named Fred. He's a treasurer, and he just keeps us going. He's retired. He just kind of feeds me everything, and I just have to talk. So I'm not really good on talking, but it works. It works out for us. So we had for homebrewing, we had our holiday party. which we had a beer tasting thing. So everyone chipped in $5, and whoever won, I came in second. So I didn't win the money, but I got to taste all the beer. So that was kind of good. We also had a homebrew and camping trip. That was in April. That was up in Northern Virginia. Mike Dean came down, and he actually helped me brew. I think I did the New Zealand IPA, I think, that day. We also had Big Brew Day. Big Brew Day is always in the first weekend in May. We actually did that at local homebrew club or homebrew store up in Newport News. The homebrew store that was there, he set up a good spread of food. He had a whole bunch of beer. He got the banquet license so we could drink out there. Had a really, really good time. Also in our club, we actually had in June, we had a big yard sale. So all of us got together. We were drinking beer. We were selling or swapping our stuff, and that was a lot of fun. We're actually going to do that one again. And then we actually did. Oh, I forgot about St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Day, the one I did the stout for. SJ and Mary came down, and I think we brewed that weekend too. Or is Mary and I actually did a brew? What else we got? Okay, and then we had the Hoppin' Habanero party. That's where we actually, as a club, we teamed up with a pepper lovers party, and we supply the beer. We had like maybe 10 kegs there. They supply the food, and we just get together and they mix food, hot food, and then we got beer. So it was a great time. My wife and I actually took a vacation this year. We went down to see the Biltmore down in Asheville, North Carolina. They had a whole bunch of I got to stop in a couple breweries. Sierra Nevada's down there, New Belgium, Burial, Wicked Weed, and I think there's a couple other ones that were up in the mountains. My wife said that this one, I think it was Torgua's up in the mountains, and we were using GPS to get us there. It took us back dirt roads, and Tiffany's like, it's like, where are we going? But when we got there, she's like, I like this place. This is my favorite place so far. She said it reminded her of what we have here. So it was more upscale than here. Just to clarify that. So we also did okay, and then I went down to Jacksonville and actually had a collaboration brew day with Main Brew Guy and Hokie Homebrew. We made this pale ale. It's actually on tap right here. It's still charging up a little bit. I didn't like force carbon or anything, so I got that going for it. So also with like last year, you might remember I actually I came in first in my homebrew club this was before I was a president, and I was brewer of the year. So that was good. Won $200 and got to spend some money. But then I became the president. And I had work, and I was traveling a lot, so I missed a lot of meetings, and I didn't win. So I came in second. I tied with second with Brian, a guy I've known for like probably 30 years. So him and I tied together. Fred, the treasurer, actually won it. So he was very generous with his winnings. He took $100 and he actually put it into a raffle. So the raffle actually, so we all just pitched in money to get to win the money or whatever, and he didn't win, but we actually had a good time. So what's coming up for next year? So next year I'm actually doing I am the president again. Fred is staying treasurer, so we got a new vice president. We have John. Karen is still our secretary. And then we are actually, the big thing is we're having a Hollywood party again in January. Same place where we had it last year. We had a really good time at Momac Brewing Company. It was a really good time. So, but in February, we got up with some of the other homebrew clubs, and this was their idea, and we were like jumping right on board with it. we're actually having like a homebrewers ball. So it's going to cost 25-30 bucks to do it, and for a ticket, we're going to try to sell at least 75 tickets. So it just seems like it's going to be a really good time, and I'm totally excited about doing it. I think my wife was calling it the homebrew Oscars. So hopefully we can get a award called the Charlie or something like that. Just be joking and everything. So that's all I got for this year. I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and I'm gonna keep up with my brewing, and hopefully you guys keep up brewing. And again, sorry for me being tongue-tied. I only had one beer before I got in here, so there we go. So happy Homebrew Wednesday, and I will see you guys next week. And who knows, I might get one more brew in this weekend. Peace.